Alright guys, Tuesday the 25th, another day in the books, and a little more defecation on the Wall Street. The one saving grace for now, potentially, S&P's QQQ did close above a couple of key support levels. What I'm watching here on the QQQ is 510, and looking at the weekly chart, we do have this weekly squeeze setting up. We have 13 points out of 15, so things are still pretty bullish here. They begin the break and close below the weekly 21. Then things change and I think open the door for what could be a much deeper flush. So really important level there, and breaking that level will probably take things from what are for now a lot more neutral to potentially a little bit more bearish in the short term. Tonight, QQQ gets a negative 16 out of 120. S&P's getting negative 12. Dow Jones a whopping 1, and the IWM a negative 71. Alright, so they go and break the weekly 21 EMA on the S&Ps and QQQ. Then they can break down and act a bit more like the IWM. So really important level to hold there. And yeah, you look at the weekly charts, the 3-day time frames, 2-day time frames. They're all decent. You look at your 4-hour, 2-hour, 1-hour time frames. They're getting scores of negative 11, negative 15. All kinds of nastiness. So at the close here, indexes are at negative 15% to max strength. For the Big 10 names, you have Microsoft negative 91, Tesla's a negative 53, TSM negative 49, Google, NVDA, Broadcom, Amazon all negative, Meta and Netflix just neutral. Big Dog Apple with an 89 out of 120. So we'll talk more about Apple here in a second. Big 10 is at negative 17% to max strength, and the sectors are at 7%. So yeah, it's the final week of the month. My thinking would be if they can crank out a decent close above their weekly 21 EMAs this week, then they get a decent chance, maybe first couple of weeks of March, stabilize the market, rebuild all the issues on 15-minute time frames, 30-minute, 1 hour, and then maybe March they'll see the market trying to go higher off of these weekly squeezes. Let me grab the S&Ps here. All right, S&P's weekly squeeze, 13 points out of 15. They hold at 5,900-ish, 21 EMA for now. But they break them, and yeah, it'll be a bit more of an interesting start to March. So we'll jump in, cover a few things here. First one is the Bitcoin futures, and I trade them through the MBT. So looking at the daily squeeze here, which is a long daily squeeze, begins back on December 9th, officially fires short today. So, pretty long daily squeeze. My thinking here would be if they can't get it and keep it back in the red box, a little break here of that support shelf, then they might take that daily squeeze, take all their lower time frame sell signals. Could be a path here into 83,000, potentially down to about 77,000. So key would be, one, can they keep all the sell signals, and then two, can I find a spot to short it with a really good risk reward, which, on that little pop here towards end of day, that might be close enough. Short the bad boy around, call it 89K. What happened here? Come back, Bitcoin. Short the bad boy around 89K-ish. I think you stop out around 91, 91.5. Should not lose your shirt. And then, yeah, if they do take that daily squeeze, break it lower, could be a paycheck at the other end of that tunnel. So I'm going to keep an eye on that one. Next up here on the board is NVIDIA with earnings tomorrow, which could either be a total non-event or could be a big deal for NVIDIA, SMH, QQQ. Pretty much all involved here. I'm not going to trade it into earnings. Major thing I'm going to watch is into the announcement, you have a weekly, 3-day, and a 2-day squeeze setting up. When we look at our weekly squeeze here with 8 points out of 15, I don't think the kind of weekly squeeze knocking off your socks just yet, but 8 points out of 15 does lean a little bit bullish. We have neutral trend, bull structure, and bear momentum. So what I'm curious to see is after earnings, whether it's a little pop higher or a big gap higher, could they try to nudge NVIDIA towards the right direction of eventually taking that weekly squeeze, trying to take out the top, and then kicking off a path towards that 165, 170 target? Could also be a case where they're gapping down NVIDIA, 110, 105-ish, squeeze break short. That could take it down to about $100 per share. Shall not be dull. We'll have the popcorn and margaritas ready. Next up is Tesla, and nothing I'm looking to trade here anytime soon, but I'll throw my 2 cents into the mix. Keep an eye on that 265, 270 level. Weekly 50, weekly 200, and then looking at the monthly chart here. And again, I'm not long Tesla right now, but maybe giving the thing the benefit of the doubt, giving the poor thing some breathing room, from May of 22 all the way up until December of 24, they're chopping the poor thing to death in a giant monthly squeeze. December rolls around, squeeze finally breaks long. That kicks off a casual push from 200-ish into about 480. So, take a step back and consider that. They doubled the thing, more than a double, on 1, 2, 3, 4 candles. It's a pretty big move in a short period of time. That move also takes you directly back towards your previous all-time highs. So, the cynic in me thinks maybe you get your initial push, you're open a bunch of bulls on the initial breakout. Come on in, buy your calls, water's warm. And now you're getting your first really good reset. If you're bullish on Tesla for, next couple of months, next couple of quarters, what I don't think you want to see is Tesla back in that red box. If anything can kick off a big move, if anything can get a good trend going, it's usually going to be a monthly squeeze. So to see Tesla break out, or attempt to break out, fail, then you're pulling all the way back into 250, 225-ish. Short term, I think you look at that monthly squeeze and say, all right, that might have been all she wrote. They hold their ground here, rebuild some lower time frames, get some buy signals going. Again, bigger picture, more of a bigger time frame idea, but 265, 270, important spots. And then a couple ideas I sent out last night. One of them was Lilly. And, given how the S&Ps and QQQ closed yesterday, I didn't go ahead and take the trades and send them out as alerts. But yeah, looking at Lilly here would have been a decent idea. Goes into the close yesterday with a really clean 4-hour squeeze. And what I would have liked to have done was take that 4-hour squeeze, and you're looking at a 900 call for this week, or maybe something a little bit further out the money for next week. No, I've got no affiliation here with Spot Gamma, but I'm a pretty big fan. If we pull up Lilly here, Lilly has a put wall at 850 and a call wall at 900. And your call walls can act like a magnet. They can pull price towards that level. It can also act like a big brick wall of resistance. So in a market that's not quite trending at the moment, I think the easier trades right now are finding things that outperform. Have better setups, have better triggers, catch them on a squeeze, trying to play them towards a decent level like a call wall, a previous high, whatever the case might be. They go ahead and get a better S&P QQQ behind Lilly. Maybe there is a bigger picture move off that 4-hour chart. But that one would have unfolded nicely, and the other idea here was Apple into 250. And your high day here for the Big Apple, 250 to the penny. So what I would like to see into next week would be, you get the call wall going from 250 into 255. Better SPX, better QQQ triggers. If they can get the thing through 250, being that right now Apple's pretty much the only game in town for the Big Ten, could be a case where you finally get the S&Ps moving and grooving, QQQ waking back up, and then all the while Apple's been the pit bull on the leash here. Takes out 250, could be a path here into 255. Needs a better market behind it, but the actual buy trigger here for Apple itself, I think would just be a 30-minute buy signal, really. Could be a 30-minute buy signal, could be a 1-hour buy signal. You'll notice, ever since you go into a 30-minute squeeze back on the 18th, we haven't seen the histogram shift back above 0 yet, so they've tried a couple of times, but to get through 250, I think you need a 30-minute buy signal. I think you'll need an hourly buy signal. And from here, that would require a little momentum shift, little kick in the rear. So there's Apple. And then, yeah, guys, aside from that, I'm watching the Bitcoin chart for a potential short. Watching the S&Ps and QQQ at their weekly 21 EMA. Get through the rest of the week, get through NVDA earnings, and then maybe by the end of the week, a little bit more clarity into the beginning of March. But keep on keeping on. Not the easiest market. Keep your head above water. And yeah, as always, thank you for watching. Like the video if you can. Helps me out. And yeah, I will talk to you. What's today? Tuesday? Yeah, I'll talk to you all tomorrow morning here on the channel. 8:45 a.m. Eastern for some pre-market preparation. So have a good night, and I'll catch you then. Adios.